And hello, good people of the internet. It is I, Tommy Kelly, and this is Adventures in Woo Woo. In this episode, I want to talk a bit about appreciation. Now, this video has been a hard video for me to do because I've done it a number of times and I keep kind of fumbling over my words. And I think one of the reasons for that, well, there's a number of reasons. One reason is that I've started to take these a bit too seriously, which is something I do, and that these were meant to be just kind of not necessarily throwaway videos, but just short, sharp shocks where I just talk for 5 minutes about something and didn't edit, didn't overthink it, and all that. And I've started to overthink it. And so I'm just going to have to try and relax a bit more around that. But, you know, such is the way. The other kind of thing I think is happening with this is that there's a kind of a fear around me of kind of insulting people, which is interesting because it's the video is meant to be an appreciation video of people. And it's like when you're talking around certain things, and I'll explain actually what I'm talking about first before I explain what's wrong. It's just I've done this video so often that I can't forget, I sort of forget what I've done and what I haven't done. I just want to talk about how it's become very kind of noticeable that services and people who work in certain jobs and certain things are way more essential to us than we would have possibly realised, or at least that we took too much for granted. And while there was a certain appreciation for people who work in hospitals, and probably not enough, where you have doctors and nurses and the staff and all of this kind of thing, and that's really come to the forefront, how important that is. We kind of probably had an inkling how important it was, even if we didn't appreciate it as much as we should, because we've been to hospitals in times of great stress and great emotion, you know, either someone's dying or very sick, or, you know, someone's giving birth or something like that, but it's always high emotion, and you're kind of relying on these strangers to look after you. And if your experience is anything like mine, most of these people are angels and have looked after us, you know, exceedingly well, above and what's that expression? Above and beyond the kind of Call of Duty kind of thing. No, that's something that I'm very thankful for. But I should be even more appreciative of all that because, you know, these people, you forget that they constantly put themselves in harm's way to help people. And that's come to the forefront. But then there's this whole other side of other people who are, you know, doing equal kind of great work. And I think this is where my kind of problem lying in is in this feeling that you're insulting or putting people down by elevating, say, someone who works on a shop, you know, works in a shop stacking shelves, and you kind of go, well, these now have become an essential service. And there's a part of me, as much as I appreciate that, still doesn't want to kind of put it on the level of, say, a doctor and a nurse, who's it's also doing an essential service. But yet it's really come to the forefront and really come to mind, and we're really seeing just how essential the jobs are of people working in shops, people who are driving trucks, and people who are keeping the whole system going in this time of, you know, of weirdness. And that this whole kind of frontline sort of group of people, and just how essential it is, and how we don't appreciate that, even to the point that it takes me 8 million times to do a video to talk about my appreciation of these people without feeling that I am somehow being less appreciative of other people. And it's a very kind of odd thing that I need to unpack a bit. But I was in the supermarket yesterday, and I try not to go too often because we're fairly good here in Ireland. We're doing the social distancing, and, you know, in the supermarkets we have the places set out where you can't stand beside other people, and there's all these screens up and all that, and we're doing well now. But I was talking to one of the women, and because I live in a kind of a villagey town thing, we all kind of know each other. And she was just saying, you know, the panic has just died down a bit, but people are still, you know, as it is, you know, still fairly panicked and all this kind of stuff. And there's no pasta again, it is sold out, and there's no, you know, flour and all these different things. And I was asking her how, you know, how she felt about being in kind of harm's way. And she's kind of go, well, you know, anyone here who had an underlying condition was allowed to leave immediately. Anyone who was here who didn't want to be here because they were scared, they were allowed to leave. No questions asked, no judgments. And she was just talking about, you know, it's like she's here, this is what she's going to do. And it's only when she gets home and watches the news that the fear gets instilled back into her. But when she's at work, it's fine and she's okay. And I've just felt this kind of need just to say, well, I appreciate, you know, you doing this in this time of, you know, weirdness, and, you know, putting yourself on the line and putting your health and all that kind of thing. And she was genuinely quite not taken back, she was genuinely very appreciative of it. And that made me feel good, feel me warm inside. And so when I was in the post office today, I did it as well. I was talking to the one behind the counter, and I tried to, you know, explain to her that, you know, I was really appreciative of it. And she was saying, oh yeah, it's great crack to come down here and, you know, give me money. And I was going, well, even the simple things of posting some letters and can make it feel a bit more normal, and can kind of steady yourself, and you know, make it all feel like the world isn't falling apart too much. And I suppose what I'm trying to say is that while you could probably put things on tiers where you say, well, people who are working in hospitals are more, should be more appreciated than people stacking shelves in a supermarket. And there's obviously some hesitancy in me to around that, because as I say, it took me so many times to do this video. But I think maybe not, because maybe it comes to the point that when all essential businesses have been shut, which they have now, and what you see is the people around still doing their things, and you see that we need to eat, we need deliveries, we need posts to keep the kind of structure and, you know, society going, and, you know, for people who need things that you can't get in the local supermarket, and all of these type of things. And like, people who work in Amazon warehouses must be exhausted, and they're like kind of getting to the stage where they're going to start getting sick too. And it's all like this world is full of heroes in a sense, and we have this idea of looking down in a way at these kind of jobs and not taking them to be as critical or as worthy as, say, the hospital jobs. And that's not to take away from the wonderful angels that are at the hospitals, but it's like, let's elevate these other people. Let's pay them a bit better for a start, when it's like, obviously we've seen just how essential and how much we need them. And it's just, I don't know, it's just the whole idea of appreciation. It's probably a bit like the positivity thing I talked about. That there's a kind of there's a societal pressure to appreciate certain things and to put people on a certain level above other people. Like, look how much appreciation we give to superstars and to, you know, Instagram celebrities and all this thing. And then when it comes to it, when there's like the end of the world, how insignificant they are to our lives, really. But yet how the person who is taking pasta out of a box and putting it on a shelf is so amazing in our life and is keeping us going. But yet, hopefully, it won't happen. But yet in like 2 months, when this is all over, and, you know, we just forget about how wonderful a job this person's done by just, you know, stacking shelves, whatever. And it's like, I hope you're getting what I mean, but because I don't really probably have the thought out enough in my head to really get to it where I'm going to be. But it's just like, appreciate the stuff now because it's been taken away from us, but let's appreciate the stuff going forward. There was a great tweet given out yesterday or the day before, and I'll put it in the show description, because and bad me, I just can't remember who tweeted it out. I have a suspicion, I know, but I don't want to say it in case I'm wrong. And I was like, what you do now, where you put your money and where you put your support, put it into the things that you want to exist when this is all over. So support local industry, support local people, do this thing, you know, buy the books of the authors you like, buy the comics, you know, support the stuff that you want to take with you into, you know, our new lives, because it seems very certain that things aren't going to go back the way they were. And I'm thankful for that. As I said, I'm going into this with a positive kind of outlook, that things will change for the better, and that this is a great learning experience for all of us. So I'm going to try to go into the new future, into the new world, with a greater appreciation for the simpler things possibly in life, or the things that I may have discounted and not been as grateful for. And while I always thought of myself as a good person, and that I would see everyone as equal, and that all this, this is definitely showing that I probably don't, and definitely my kind of inability to just say what I wanted to say without having to record it 8 times to get it right, because I was afraid of insulting people or saying the wrong words around it, shows me that I have a bit of work to do around this as well. But I'm appreciative that I'm aware of that, and I can work on it, and I can become better. So this is rambly, but this is the best I'm going to be able to do around this, because I cannot do this for another video. So let's be appreciative of the people around us, and the essential people that we probably weren't aware were as essential to us as they are. So good people of the internet, until our next adventure, be well.